Hi, I'm Lachy from Adelaide West Physio and Pilates, and this is my addition to the amazing pain story series that Russell started recently. Now, this isn't something that's specific to me, but this is a theory based around soccer players that after being tackled are rolling around on the floor looking like they're in extreme pain, but are jumping straight back up again 2 or 3 minutes later like nothing happened. I am a massive fan of soccer or football, depending on where you're from. I'm not necessarily a massive fan of these players rolling around on the floor like they are in extreme pain and getting straight back up again like nothing's happened, not limping, no obvious signs of pain within a couple of minutes. Now, for people that aren't aware, a lot of the time this is just acting. Obviously, in some cases, players are injured and they're taken off the field and they don't rejoin the game after that. But in some cases, these players are getting back up again 2, 3, 5 minutes later, like nothing's happened, no form of limping. And a lot of the time, this is acting to try and win a competitive advantage. They're trying to win a free kick or a penalty in some cases, depending on where this occurs. A classic exponent of this was Arjen Robben, the recently retired great Dutch soccer player that particularly around the penalty box, if he'd gotten tackled, would look like Superman flying across the field to make it very clear to the referee that he had been tackled and that he should win a free kick or a penalty. Now, as I said before, a lot of the times this is acting. In some cases there is a genuine injury and the player is no longer takes to the field, but if they're getting back up again 2, 3 minutes later, for the most part it is acting. But what if it isn't always the case? What if there is a pain experience that these players are going through that is quite sharp and severe, but quite short? Now, for people that have read Explain Pain or done their own research, they're aware that context plays a massive part in pain. Now, these players are conditioned right from a young age to make these tackles and injuries look as convincing as possible. It's an accepted behaviour, it's a learned pattern to make the referee think that they are going through extreme amounts of pain and they should win a free kick. So what if in these circumstances, because it's an accepted behaviour, it's a learned behaviour, that context is being added to that pain experience, that it is bringing on a quite sharp, immediate burst of pain where there can't obviously be much tissue damage because the players more often than not, unless they are genuinely injured, are getting up 2, 3, 5 minutes later, jumping straight back onto the field like nothing's ever happened. And this is in comparison to rugby players where obviously they're having massive hits quite constantly through the game and getting straight back up again like nothing ever happened and getting straight back into it without having that 2 to 3 minute break in between where they look like they're in extreme pain. Now, as I said at the start, in some cases these players are going through, they are actually injured. I don't want to anger anyone by saying that all soccer players never get injured, but in some cases it is obviously acting. But it may not always be the case. It might be that white line fever for a soccer player is pain's hypersensitivity. Let us know what you think.